Good morning, successors. Today is Thursday, so you all know what that means. It's Law Talk with attorney Fred Jones. We got a phenomenal show for you today, so don't touch that dial. Don't go anywhere. Speak Your Success in the Morning, coming right at you. Pow. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, successors? Welcome to another episode of Speak Your Success in the Morning. Excited to be here with you today. Today is September 4th, 2025, and you already know it's a great day to be alive. Family, there's a few things you can expect to get here from Speak Your Success in the Morning. All right, just a few things. And the first that you can expect is you can expect us to hit you with a little bit of the news. All right. Then we're going to sometimes cover a little bit of sports, a little bit of culture, but then you're always going to get your 3 E's, okay? You're going to get entertainment, you're going to get education, and you're going to get empowered, okay? So that's what you can always expect from Speaker Success in the Morning. And also, we want to make sure that you know that if you're streaming this live on YouTube right now, on the right-hand side, you should see a little $sign. Feel free to hit that, and then you can drop us a love offering if we're adding value to you in any way, any day. All right. So just wanted to cover those things. But y'all, we're going to get ready to dive in today. And producer Britt isn't with us today. She's going to be returning back tomorrow onto the show. But today, I want to go ahead and transition. And I want to talk a little bit about just what I did last night. Typically, we like to cover a little bit like what we ate last night. For me, last night was pretty enjoyable. For me, last night had a little bit of, it's like this lasagna bake type situation. My wife put together, she stirred it up and made it. And then we also had a little bit of lamb. And that lamb was seasoned pretty well. Okay. You realize you don't appreciate seasoning until it's not on something. All right. But my wife definitely did a good job with that. And you know, it was a rack of lamb and it was butterflied, and we didn't have a grill. So we didn't do the grill because we gave our grill away, but we put it in the oven. And when that thing came out, it was tasting right. Okay. It was tasting right. So shout out to my wife for holding down the fort and coming through with that. But now I want to go ahead and dive into straight from the source. And y'all, but just as you know, or just so that you know, after we dive into straight from the source, next up, we're going to dive into Law Talk with attorney Fred Jones, to where we're going to unpack a few cases. And we always want to break those down because we want to bring you all the legal perspective here on the show, right? And the reason why is because everybody does not have access to an attorney based on, proximity. So the relationship that we have here with attorney Fred Jones, who also doubles as my father, right? Which is a great benefit, right? And also you get to benefit as well, right? Because you're in community with us, you're rocking with the show, you're listening to the show. So you get to benefit from the wisdom, from the expertise, from the insight and the experience that he brings. Okay. So that's why we have Law Talk. And also just so you're informed of what's going on around you, right? One of our E's, we want to educate and we want to empower. And you can't feel empowered if you don't have the information that you need. Okay. So stay tuned after Straight from the Source, and we're going to dive into Law Talk with attorney Fred Jones. So today, what I want to do and dive into is this text here, and is Psalms 27. And I want to dive into Psalms 27 just because there are times to where if we don't really know what the scripture says and we don't lean into the word, how can we truly expect to get all the benefit? Right? How can we truly be able to lean in when those times that we're overwhelmed? How can we truly be able to feel peace in the midst of chaotic times? So today I want to read a little bit of Psalms 27 so that we can really be able to take this text, we can break it down, and we can utilize it for our life. Okay. And this is a psalm of fearless trust in God. Okay. It's a psalm of David. Verse 1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" I love David's confidence here. The Lord is the defense of my life. Whom shall I dread? When evidence came upon me to devour my flesh, when evildoers came upon me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and my enemies, they stumbled and fell. If an army encamps against me, my heart will not fear. If war arises against me, in spite of this, I am confident. One thing I have asked from the Lord that I shall seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to meditate in his temple. Wow. Wow. And as you can see in this text, it's a parallel, right? Because you see David says, "The Lord is my light." And then he comes back and says, "Who should I fear?" It's kind of like knowing that there are situations that was going to come up for us in our life now and in present time, present day, to where he's saying one area where he could fear or why he could be fearful, but then saying another part of the text where it supersedes whatever the fear was, right? The Lord is the defense of my life. Whom should I dread, right? If you know, I know we're in football season right now, but if you know that you have a solid defense, you shouldn't be fearful, right? Because you already know what you have on your side, right? Then he even talks about evildoers. They came upon him to devour his flesh. And the Bible can be very graphic and very descriptive so that we really can feel and we really can hear and understand this text. But then David says, but then my adversaries and my enemies, they stumbled and fell. Have you ever been in a space in your life before to where you went to sleep the night before, right? You went to sleep like the night before. Maybe you were, maybe you had a big competition, or you were gonna speak or share somewhere, or you had a big presentation, and you had all these fears and all this anxiousness and all this anxiety, and it was stressing you out, right? It put you to a place where you're uncomfortable. And that's what this text is doing for us here, right? It's laying out why you could be fearful, what things make us fearful, but then at the same time, there's the text that supersedes what was said just before. So adversaries are coming, enemies are coming, but guess what? They stumble and fail, right? So today, I wanted just to read this psalm to you, and I want it to be a psalm of encouragement. I want it to be a psalm that you can keep in your back pocket, because psalms are ultimately songs, and they're poems, and it's David just communicating and giving us this text in this blueprint in this path to be able to follow, to be able to have this conversation with God, to be able to have these things to speak over ourselves and speak to ourselves, or even share with other people who are going through trials and tribulations. Because there's one thing that we know in this life of a believer: anyone who has ever said, I accept Jesus Christ as Lord of my life, I accept that he came down from heaven, went into flesh form, died for my sins. If you have said that prayer, if you have made that commitment, the one thing that you know is certain to be true is that you will face hardship. You will have trouble in this life, because at the end of the day, everything that happens here on earth is about perfecting us, right? Every challenge that we're going through, it is provided and presented to us so that we can become more like and look more like Christ. So therefore, just as the Bible says, and just as I said about a week or so ago, the Bible tells us that he that began a good work in us, right, he will see it to completion. And completion ultimately is us in heaven with him. And if he started something in us and he's going to see it through to completion, what does that look like? It looks like when you see those individuals who they have that metal and then they heat it up, and then they have a hammer and they begin to bang it, boom, boom, and it's making that metal smooth, right? It's knocking out all of the infirmities. It's knocking out all of the wrinkles and different things like that. And I'm sure if we could ask the metal, how do you feel when you're in this fire? The metal would say, it's hot. It's hot, John. If we could ask the metal, how do you feel as they're beating against you with this hammer? What do you think the metal would say? It doesn't feel good. But at the end of the day, if you ask the metal, after the metal's gone through that process, it's been beaten, it's been heated up, it's gone through temperatures that we can't imagine, and you would ask the metal, how does the metal look? I can almost see the metal in Deion Sanders' voice saying, look good, baby. Play good. So understanding that, y'all, we just have to know and understand we're going to go through some trials. We're going to go through some tribulations. We're going to go through some troubles, but take heart because at the end of the day, Jesus has overcome the world and he's in our corner, right? So family, that's been straight from the source today. We're about to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come right back with Law Talk with attorney Fred Jones. So don't touch that dial. We'll be back with more Speaker Success in the morning just after this. Looking for timeless pieces that make a statement? Discover the Jewelry Department, where elegance meets craftsmanship. Owned by Miguel Contreras and located at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas, the Jewelry Department is your destination for stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces designed to elevate your style. From classic designs to modern trends, we offer a curated selection that reflects sophistication and artistry. Because we believe your jewelry should be just as unique as you are. Visit us today at the Jewelry Department, where every piece tells a story. And let us help you find the perfect piece that speaks to yours. The Jewelry Department, elevating your look with elegance and style. Find us at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas. All right, family. Welcome back to Speaker Success in the Morning. We're currently 12 minutes after the hour. We're going to go ahead and get ready to dive into Law Talk with attorney Fred Jones. And it's a privilege. It's a privilege and an honor to be able to do life with my dad in this way, right? But before we get into Law Talk, I'm just going to share this real quick. So my father and I, we didn't always have the best relationship. And my dad can attest to it. As I bring him out, I'm just going to go ahead and bring him out. I'm going to go ahead and tell this story, Dad. Well, Dad, welcome to the show, Dad. Welcome to the show. Okay.
Good to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my father, attorney Fred, we always didn't have the best relationship, y'all. And it's just a blessing that we were able to begin to see eye to eye as we began to work together. I know a lot of people say, don't do business with family. Don't do business with family. But I paid my dad $5,000. We began to work together. My dad told me I should write a book, and then I proceeded to pay him, and then the more we began to work together, then our relationship began. Dad, would you say our relationship began to heal a little bit from going through that process?
Yeah, the process worked. As you get to communicating and working together, as you're working together, you have to work through. So we were able to just
Mm.
work together and work through things, and as a result, the bond grew deeper.
All right. Yes, sir. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get ready to transition into our law talk segment. And Dad, there's some interesting stuff happening out here in the world, man. There's some interesting stuff happening in the world. First, we'll go ahead and start with um, Miss Cardi B. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up, and we will transition. Boop.
Cardi B. Who is Cardi B?
That's funny.
Yeah,
Okay, so
she's a
just go ahead. What'd you say, Dad?
she's a rapper. She's renowned.
Yeah, definitely renowned. Definitely renowned. So here it is. So Cardi B, in a civil trial, she was found not liable on all counts. Vengeance will be hers. Reported by TMZ, right? And it says down here, Cardi B can breathe easy now that she's just been found not liable of assault and battery in a civil case by a unanimous jury, and won't have to pay any damages. And she plans to countersue anyone in the future who will drop a nefarious lawsuit against her. That I'm gonna kick it to you, and I want to just get a little context here first, and I have a couple questions that I want to ask you. Can you just bring us in and give us a little bit of context on the suit, on the case?
Yeah, this bodyguard, a person that used to work for Miss Cardi B, she brought a lawsuit saying that she was assaulted and hit and attacked by the Cardi B. And at the end of the day, she filed, asked the court for 23 millions of dollars in damages, right? Because the law looked to money to make the plaintiff whole. And so this lady brought this claim against this artist, and the court didn't find merit. They did not find merit in her claim at all.
Mm,
So that was the outcome of the case. Carter B prevailed, and she was not found liable. This is a civil suit. A civil suit is different than a criminal suit, of course. Civil, you look money at cases hinge on finances. Criminal cases hinge on freedom. Finances and freedom is the distinguishing factor between civil cases and criminal cases.
mm, okay. Finance $24 million. Okay. 24 a million dollars is what Cardi B was sued for. And said the alleged rapper hit her and cut her face and spit on her and hurled racial slurs during a 2018 spat. Go ahead, Dad. What
You
you
got
got?
to prove that. You got to prove that. You got to have
Mm,
somebody to say that you did that. Somebody to say that they saw that. You got to have photos. You got to have a medical report. You got to have experts in a case in a court of law. You got to prove your case and not just present your case.
Okay, so if I was to ask you, what do you do? Do you feel that would it be the plaintiff, the one who brought the case against Cardi B? This would be the plaintiff. Would you say the plaintiff had a strong case from the beginning with not having these things?
No, no. It's a wonder that this case didn't get thrown out as a frivolous lawsuit. Okay,
Mm,
Cardi B said it's a nefarious lawsuit, and then what she also said is that in going forward, she's going to retaliate against people who bring these kind of claims. Here's why. Um, but remember this: rumors only breed when the atmosphere is right. There's only
mm.
going to be smoke when there's fire in the chimney. Okay, so there had to have been a conflict. There
Okay.
had to have been some type of a fight or dust up, but it perhaps didn't get to the level of 23 million or X how many million dollars they were asking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the plaintiff in this case just did not have any proof. And if you don't have proof in a unanimous jury, oh, come on now. A unanimous jury ruled against her. She must have not had any evidence, or she had a very poor lawyer.
Well, Dad, okay, so take us into the courtroom. What do you think a judge would say in this situation? Like knowing the information that we know, right? She didn't have evidence, right? If we're talking about pictures, if we're talking about visible cuts or anything like that. Like what do you feel a judge would say if we're in this courtroom of law?
Yeah, if you're in a courtroom of law, the judge is going to say, "Okay, counsel, present your case." Okay, and then counsel for the plaintiff, in this particular case, Miss Ellis, counsel is going to say, "Well, on this day, March XXX, this happened and
Mm,
that happened." And this is how it happened. And we have X amount of evidence to prove that it happened. Obviously, their evidence was weak. Okay. But so the plaintiff will present their case, but then the defense will come and refute this. And what I found interesting is Cardi B herself took the stand. She was on the stand and she was her own witness. Okay.
mm,
And as a result, when you in the court, the judge and the jury, they're going to be looking at the credibility of the witness, the credibility of the witness. And if Cardi B says, "I didn't touch her, I
mm.
didn't touch her, my hands never laid on her," and if she can't show a video, a photo, or some witnesses showing that she hit her or touched her, then she's going to get tossed out of the courtroom, just as
Uh,
she did.
Oh wow, wow. Okay, so looking at this type of civil case, right? This type of civil suit, and we have Cardi B, who is who is a decorated artist, a rapper. She has notoriety. She has been in the public eye before because I mean, yes, she has notoriety and different things like that. Ultimately, if we look at what's at stake, is it Cardi B who's at stake, her reputation, the young lady? Like what are we looking at here?
John, when we get out here, be it the entertainment business, be it the athletic business, be it the coaching business, the speaking business, you name it, the music businesses,
Mm-hmm.
all of these businesses that have a person at the forefront of the business, you are the face of the brand.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the face of the brand. So the question, what's at stake? Your brand is at stake. Your business is at stake. And ultimately, your bank account is at stake. Period. So when people come making these charges and allegations against you, you got to defend yourself. And at a minimum, it's going to cost you bucks to defend yourself.
Oh, that's
And
true.
so that's why it's good to stay away from trouble, stay out of trouble, stay clear of conflict. That's why people who operate at a certain level in life, they don't deal with people who operate at a lower level in life. Because if you deal with
Mm.
somebody who's at a lower level, who's got less to lose than you got, then ultimately they will get what you got.
Mm. Oh, because they're going to be trying to find a way, like, well, not always, but trying to see how I can get in there, and you shouldn't have that, and I deserve that. Some of that should be mine. So they're gonna weasel their way in there.
Buddy of mine said this: if wrong and right go to bed together, wrong will always rape right.
Mm.
If right and wrong goes to bed together, wrong will always rape right. Okay, let's put it to put scripture. Evil communication corrupts good morals. You
Mm.
find any kid that hang around kids that are bad and got a bad reputation, they're going to go down with that kid. We can name people all over the country who hung around with the wrong relationships and it took them down. Very
Mm.
important to not be misaligned with your brand. Your brand is very important out here because individuals are looking for shortcuts to the bank. And one of the shortcuts to the bank is to file a lawsuit against somebody and who you know has the ability to pay. That's another
Mm.
thing. You got if you're gonna file a lawsuit, you're gonna file a lawsuit against somebody who has the ability to pay because you can't get blood out of a turnip.
Man, that is true though. Like if you really do look at it, yeah, the good kid and hanging out with some of these other kids, you always can see the opportunity of the good being the first thing to go, right? Because
Oh,
they doing what they want to, doing what they need to do to fit in, and for other people to see them, and different things like that. So that's, oh man, people just do right, just do right. Okay, Dad. So
well,
we're gonna
ain't no
keep,
ain't no
huh? What'd you say?
ain't no ain't no such thing as people doing right.
Oh man, oh man.
Bert Robinson, all people are no good. We do bad things, man. Come on, let's go.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Let's all right. Let's keep on rolling. Let's keep on rolling. So now this is what we're looking at. Now we're looking at right here. Okay. So with Cracker Barrel, right? And we will cut some of this out.
Good
Nope.
old Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel. Yeah. Okay. So Cracker Barrel says a black server at Cracker Barrel was called burnt biscuit by coworkers as bosses did nothing to stop the racism suit. So Cracker Barrel has a server who was called Burnt Biscuit, and let me go ahead and read a little bit of the article. Okay, so a black server at Cracker Barrel restaurant and country store in Tennessee claims that she faced rampant bigotry on the job, while higher ups consistently failed to hold white employees and supervisors accountable for their racist behavior. In the federal lawsuit obtained by The Independent, Roberta Mendez, who identifies as black, says her white coworkers very regularly called her nappy headed N word, burnt biscuit, and monkey, according to her complaint, which was filed August 21st last year. It says Mendez, shift leader, left little room for interpretation, brazenly telling her, I don't like black people. Dad, is there a strong case here?
Well, there are several things here that's going on. Who were these employees doing this,
Mm,
calling the other, using the racial slurs? Number one. Number two, what was their position in the company? If they were a manager, a supervisor, uh, that that has a second layer. Third, if this was reported and it was ignored, if it was reported and repeated and ignored, then the company is going to have some explaining to do as to why they allowed this type behavior to continue in the workplace. So there could be possible merit in a case like this, even though it sounds really harsh and it's hard to believe that things like this is still going on. But people are just innately um, drawn to drama,
no,
and
yeah, that's true.
this is a seriously this is the kind of stuff people do. If the company saw this going on and did nothing about it, and it repeatedly happened, and it was brought to the attention of the supervisors, that's probably why you got a lawsuit that's been filed. On the other hand, if it was brought to their attention and they immediately addressed it or removed the employees who was doing this, then it probably wouldn't even have a lawsuit.
Yeah, it says Mendez has been waiting tables at Nashville Cracker Barrel since 2015. And she
That's a long time.
argues that's a very long time. And she argues that she always met or exceeded expectations at work. However, for the past decade, she says she was treated less than favorable by her Caucasian counterparts who made derogatory comments to her based on her race.
Well, why did she stay?
I was curious about that myself. I was curious about that
Because you want to make a living. You got to eat. You got children. You got family. So you work because you want to provide for your family, and you just can't leave your job. So she stayed and worked. And if this work environment was hostile or abusive, then there could be some liability here on the defendant's part.
I want to read a little bit more of this article here. Furthermore, the complaint contends Mendez was physically pushed and hit by her colleagues and claims management has segregated its black waiters from its Caucasian workers. Mendez reports that these transgressions to her bosses up and down the chain of command, according to the complaint. But it goes on Mendez was the one who suffered the consequences. Following the 2023 incident, Mendez says she was written up instead of the person whose behavior she has flagged and complains.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then just even furthermore, just down here at the bottom, when Mendez escalated her concerns to the human resources department, she was only told not to sign the write up. The complaint continues, adding no remedial action was taken. Dad,
Yeah.
if you were a judge in this situation, this case is presented before you. You're hearing this information, right? Mendez has been at this entity 2015. Now we're in 2025. She said that she has communicated that she has been pushed. She has been called derogatory terms, slang at the job. She's told human resources. She's told the leaders at the job. What are we saying here? You're a judge. This is in your courtroom.
John, we see this logo of the legal profession with the lady with the scales over her eyes, blind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the law supposed to be as blind, right? And what that really is saying is, rid yourself of the emotions, rid yourself of all the hype, racial discrimination, this and that. Where are the facts?
Mm.
What are the facts? And if you can bring facts and prove the facts, then you can prove your case. When it comes to racism, discrimination, these type allegations are subjective many times, very subjective, meaning it's how I felt, it's how they looked at me, it was the mood of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can bring facts, which are objective and not subjective, facts are concrete. When you can bring facts to lay out your case and show that this type of behavior is ongoing, you got people that'll take the witness stand and say that it was ongoing. You got emails, letters, notes where bosses wrote things that was racial or discriminatory or slanderous, and bring that into court. Somebody's going to have to pay attention to that kind of evidence. And it seems as though this person has built a reasonable type case in order to be bringing this complaint. Because lawyers are not just going to file a complaint just because somebody walked through the door and want to tell them, I want to sue somebody. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lawyer's license is on the line because they don't want to bring a frivolous lawsuit.
Mm. Yeah.
So for a lawsuit to even get to the point of being filed, there has to be some merit there.
Yeah, later in the article, it said the reason for Mendez's termination was pretext for discrimination and or retaliation, according to the complaint, which does not provide details of what Mendez supposedly did wrong. Attorney Kyle B, who is representing Mendez in the case, and told the Independent he and co-counsel Rachel Ringer hoped their client's complaint spoke for itself. Next, Cracker Barrel will file their answer to the complaint, and discovery will proceed from there. Mr. B, Attorney B says, we expect deposition to bear out many of the facts as alleged by Ms. Mendez, as Cracker Barrel spokesperson did not respond on Wednesday to a request for comment.
Okay, so you see, you got an issue here. Not only do you have the lawsuit that's been filed alleging this for this company, now you got their brand that's being tarnished by this allegation. So now you got to balance what do we do about the brand, or are we going to look to the bank and just pay this off and make it go away? And if you just pay something off and make it go away, then you're sending a signal to the public that we will pay as opposed to fight. And many
Mm-hmm.
companies will fight opposed to sending a signal to the public that we will pay. And the reason for that is if you just start paying people, you're going to open up the floodgate of litigation for more lawsuits of that kind to come about because people are looking for a shortcut to the bank.
And then even I feel like I've heard it been said before, but when you pay or when you settle, this is it. I mean, yes, it's said that it's not an admission of guilt, but it comes off as if I like I was wrong. Let me make you right. Let me make you whole.
Well, you look at the Shannon Sharp case, okay? Let's just go back to that one. He
Mm-hmm.
paid, right? Well, we know he did something. So in a civil case, it's not a matter of guilty or not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of can the plaintiff prove their case beyond a preponderance of the evidence. Ooh, that's it. See, in a civil case, you just got to prove your case a little bit more than 50% in a
Mm.
civil case. It's
Okay.
more likely than not that this happened. That's the burden of
Mm.
proof in a civil case. But in a criminal case, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. The law is going to protect people's freedom. We would rather to see a guilty person go free than to convict one innocent person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Therefore, the burden is beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal case. But in a civil case, just a little bit more than 50% of preponderance of the evidence. In Cracker Barrel case, it's a preponderance of the evidence. It's a little bit more than 50%. In Cardi B's case, it was just a little bit more than 50%. Both of those cases are civil cases.
Mm.
And
So go
that
so
makes a difference.
yes. Okay. So going forward, you think Cracker Barrel is at fault? You think Cracker Barrel is gonna settle? Or you think the judge is gonna rule in Miss Mendez's favor?
Well, it just I have not done a thorough research on the Cracker
Mm-hmm.
Barrel case, but when this kind of complaint comes up, the defense is looking for ways to knock this out. They're knocking it out. The defense, meaning Cracker Barrel's defense, are
Mm-hmm.
going to look for ways to move this out. But if the evidence is strong, then court case. It's when a defendant settles in a civil case, that's
Mm-hmm.
about your best case scenario.
Mm. Okay. Hold
It's
on, wait.
better.
Why?
It's
But
better.
why is that? I want to talk a little bit more about that. Just help educate me and educate the people. Like, okay, in defense case, best case, you're settling. Why?
The best case to settle is because you stop the bleeding. The longer a loss goes on, the longer and energy of the company is focused on that litigation. So when you're in court and you're fighting a legal, when you're in court and fighting a legal battle, you get it's draining the company. So the only way to get out of it is sometimes to settle it or to keep on fighting. And if you keep on fighting, you not only may you lose, but you're gonna lose all that time, energy, and resources that you had to fight for that long period of time. So if you got a lawsuit being brought against you, settle it, get it off the desk, and let's move on.
All right. All right. All right. All right. We have one more case. We're gonna take a look at this one last case, and then after that, I wanna talk with you about something, Dad. Where we at? Where we at? Got this one last case here, and I'm going to pull it up because
Mm-hmm.
last week we talked a little bit about what's been going on with the case with Chat GPT and the young man, the teen who took his life based on the insight and the guidance that Chat GPT provided. But now we're going to talk a little bit about Chat GPT and the murder suicide from a former Yahoo exec. Let me go ahead and pull this up.
Yeah.
And this is and one thing that we just have to continue just to take into account is one thing I just want to make this note. One thing that we as people have to take into account, one thing that we need to begin to factor in is understanding one, these people around, like people around you, you need to make sure that you have your four corners down, right? And your four corners are four people that you can reach out to at any point in time, that to where you can talk to them, you can communicate, you can offload some stuff, some stress, what you're feeling, whatever it might be. You want to make sure to have your four corners in place and have them holding you down, because y'all, at the end of the day, life is tough, and it's tough to go at life alone. So now we're going to go ahead and break into this. So it's ChatGPT is believed to have played a role in the Connecticut murder suicide of a mother and of a son. Okay. So in Greenwich, Connecticut, the developer of ChatGPT is working to prevent its technology from being used for harm after several disturbing reports highlighting the potential dangers of AI chatbots, including one incident in the tri-state area. Police say Eric Stein Solberg, who's 56, he murdered his mother, 83-year-old Suzanne Adams, before taking his own life in their home on Shorelands Place in Connecticut on August 5th. It appears that leading up to the murder, ChatGPT was fueling Solberg's delusions that his mother was plotting against him. The 56-year-old the 56-year-old's Instagram page mainly detailed his bodybuilding transformation and a growing reliance on AI chatbots. I'll read the last piece. Solberg was once a tech executive with Yahoo, but moved in with his mother after his divorce. He had run-ins with police, including a DWI. Dad. Another sad instance. Uh, Looking at this case, what's your initial thoughts from a legal perspective? Looking at this case.
Well, from a legal perspective, ChatGPT believed to have played a role. Okay, so what is that role, and how are we gonna what role does ChatGPT, a computer, a bot, has in causing somebody to commit harm to themselves and harm to others? And would you hold your phone responsible for calling the wrong person? Would you
Mm.
hold uh, your watch responsible for giving you information that you asked it for? So I think we got to think about those kind of things in these particular type cases. Does the maker of this telephone have a duty to make it safe so that I use it in a way that I don't hurt myself?
Mm. That's a question. I'm sure I would have never considered that. The way you
Well,
said, I never.
companies that create products, programs, and services have a duty. And what's that duty? Every act of man, if the makers of ChatGPT know that people will use ChatGPT in a way, AI period, in
Mm-hmm.
general, to cause harm to themselves and harm to others, if we know this and then we ignore this, then we could have a problem. If we know this, then we have a duty. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if ChatGPT can monitor, if YouTube can monitor, if Facebook can monitor and regulate when you and I use copyright material that belong to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
then why can't it regulate words that pop up on my screen that indicates that I'm about to do harm to myself?
Yeah.
If it can do that, then ChatGPT may have a duty. Okay, so duty is one thing. The second thing is foreseeability. Can we say ChatGPT can foresee that
Mm-hmm.
people are going to put information in and get information out that's going to cause them to do harm? If that is foreseeable, if we can see that coming, and this article said multiple occasions, several times people have done this, it's beginning
Mm-hmm.
to happen over and over and over. Therefore, we see a duty and we see that it's foreseeable. Then the next element is, did they breach that duty? Did they breach it? Did they break that duty? And if
Uh,
they broke that duty, if they broke that duty and did not put guardrails in place, did not put regulations in place, call 911, stop now, warning. If ChatGPT didn't put those things in place, we could have a problem. And then all of these components, John, that I'm sharing with you are the elements of proving a strict liability or a negligence case. Okay,
okay.
and so all we're looking for is damage, harm, causation, and duty. And when we see those four, we got a lawsuit. We got a lawsuit for negligence. They neglected to do something that they should have done. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the issue here. And if we can tie it all together, we're going to have a problem in court. Somebody's going to have to
Yeah,
pay.
come up the pocketbook, man. Yeah, and one thing I even noticed after seeing the suit that we saw a couple weeks ago with the young teen taking his life, and now in this instance, I was on Instagram the other day and I logged in, and then Instagram asked me, "There's like, wait, we want you to take this quick survey. We want you to take this quick safety survey," and I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Huh." And it's like, do you
Uh-huh.
feel that we've done a good job of holding this content or protecting you from this content, et cetera, et cetera? And I was like, that's interesting.
Lawyers at work. Lawyers at work. See, they're putting guardrails. They're putting guardrails. And one of the things that a court's going to look for when somebody has died or a company is caused harm or a lawsuit's been filed, what did you do immediately to
Mm.
correct it or to address that change? Instagram is already doing that. Facebook, I would guarantee, is already doing it.
Oh yeah.
YouTube is already doing it. All of the companies are updating their terms of use. How many times do we get an update on the terms of use? You get an update about every 3 weeks. Well, every month or 2 or 3 months. Facebook, Instagram is updating its terms of use. Clubhouse is updating their terms of use. And you know what they're doing, huh? They're giving you notice and warnings that we're changing the policies, we're updating how we do things. You're responsible, not us. Brands and businesses must constantly be watching their back legally.
Wow, you said something, because as you're saying that, I can think I've received probably 3 or 4 emails this week with updated terms of use. 3 or 4 at
That's
least this week.
that's the contract.
Mm,
Terms of use is another way of saying this is the contract between you and the as a user and us as a provider. If you
mm.
use this,
Oh, lost you for a second, Dad. Go ahead. You were saying if you agree to these things, you agree to these terms.
then you're in compliance. You've acknowledged and accepted
So now you can take
responsibility.
responsibility and liability, huh?
Responsibility, and you're
Mm.
responsible. You're responsible for whatever goes on. It's like going to the doctor. How many forms do you sign before you go to surgery? 4,291. Why? Because basically the doctor wants you to say, if we kill you, you ain't gonna sue us. If you
Mm.
die while you're in here, you ain't gonna sue us. John, you know the difference between lawyers and doctors, don't you? This is kind of a running joke.
What's the difference?
Law, doctors bury their mistakes. Lawyers preserve theirs for posterity.
Oh man.
Okay, all right. Doctors make mistakes and they bury people and put them in the grave.
Yeah.
Lawyers make mistake. We put it in writing and put it in the courthouse. And when you put something in writing and you put it in the courthouse, writings are permanent.
Mm.
Burials are final. So everything a lawyer does is in writing. A lawyer's work is writing.
Wow.
So doctors bury their mistake. Lawyers preserve theirs in the courthouse. All
Oh
right, let's just
my. Well, Dad, man, so I think today, I think we covered a lot of ground today. I think we covered a lot of ground today. Just talking about different cases at hand. Cardi B, Cracker Barrel, and there's the Chat GPT. All
and
C's, yeah, all C's today. And listening, you've been watching, you've been tuned in, and you've been saying, I have a current legal matter, and I want to get the right person to get their eyes on it. I want to get some legal advice. I want to get some insight. People, go to fredjoneslaw.com. Go to fredjoneslaw.com. Book a call with attorney Fred Jones, and he is the man for the job for multiple reasons, especially around helping you protect your IP. Because not only has he been on both sides of the fence, right? He's a coach, he's a consultant, so he has that experience and understands the power of your creative intellectual property and how to protect that. But then also he is an attorney, so he has what you really need to really understand, to protect your work, to preserve it, to help you create that legacy with your book, brand, and business. Okay, so go to fredjoneslaw.com. Go to fredjoneslaw.com and make sure that you let him know that you found him on Speaking Success in the Morning. Okay, Dad. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for adding your insight, adding your expertise. Always valuable to have you on the show. And we will see you next week, sir. And y'all, right here on Speaking Success in the Morning. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna take this quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this. Do you want to feel confident in your skin every day? Introducing Skin Rituals, a luxury home-based skin studio that specializes in hyperpigmentation, acne, and personalized treatments for every skin type. Owned by solo esthetician and registered nurse Courtney Durham, Skin Rituals is all about curating facial treatments designed just for you. Hydrate, brighten, nourish, and soothe your skin with expert care and cutting-edge techniques that promote natural healing. Whether you're looking for a relaxing facial or a transformative chemical peel, Skin Rituals offers results driven treatment tailored to your needs. With over 7 years of experience, Courtney's goal is to help you safely achieve the healthy skin that you deserve. At Skin Rituals, we believe that taking care of your skin is an investment in your confidence. Book your appointment today and leave every session feeling grateful for the choice that you made to take care of yourself. Skin Rituals, because your skin deserves the very best. All right, family. All right. All right. Looking for timeless
All
pieces?
right.
There we go. Man, we're live, y'all. We're live. When you push buttons, stuff actually happens. Man, wait a minute. All right, so y'all, that's gonna wrap up Law Talk today with Attorney Fred Jones. Man, shout out to my dad for being available and being willing to hop on. I want to just share just a few things that I saw really quick. Well, actually, one thing we're gonna do. One thing, like I said before earlier on the show, one thing you all can expect to see if y'all are connected with us on your social platforms, which is TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're on all of your platforms, right? We're streaming on all of your platforms. And the reason why I want to just share that and let you all know is because you're going to start seeing more content go out, right? And it's going to be more than just clips. It's going to be news being shared from other news outlets, but we're going to share it on the platform as well. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were abreast and know that. Just like I said, we're going to be bringing you news, we're going to be bringing you sports, we're going to be bringing you culture, and always going to be bringing you the 3 E's: education, entertainment, and empowerment. Okay, so make sure that you are following our platforms on all of our networks. You can follow at Speak Your Success Media on all of your platforms: your Instagram, your YouTube, your Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Okay, but other than that, family, my final thought for you all today that I want to leave you with, I want you to really lock down your four corners, right? John, what do you mean? What are you talking about? John, you talking about us locking down our four corners. What does that even mean? What are you even saying? And honestly, this probably could have been a Teach Me Tuesday, but I want to really share it today because I just feel like it needs to be said. And ultimately, this is what your four corners really is all about. Okay, so I believe that everybody has the opportunity to have four corners. What does that look like? Okay, so I believe that we all have four types of people in our lives. Okay, so the first type person that we always want to have a strategist in our life, right? This is somebody who can see bigger than us, who can see further than us, and this is somebody who they always approach something with a really strategic frame of mind. Boom, strategist. I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. Then you always want to have the dreamer in your life, the person who speaks highly of you, the person who you try to settle for doing a 4 level of work. They're like, nah, bro, I see a 10 for you, right? You're like, nah, but I just want to do this. I just want to get 2 more reps in. Nah, bro. You need to get in 10 more reps. Yeah. So we want to have the dreamer. So we got the strategist, the dreamer. We have the person who is the friend, right? The individual who allows you to be able to come to them as you are. They don't judge you. They're just real with you. They're balancing their perspective. They hold you down. They're the friend. And then you have your anchor. This is the person that when you're going through it, middle of the night, you can call them and answer, hey, what's up, man? What you dealing with? What you facing? How you doing? Right? The anchor is the person who you can come to when you need prayer. You're like, say, bro, pray for me. Right? Keep me lifted, keep me covered. This is the person who is your spiritual connection. Right? So today I want you to identify who are your four corners. Because at the end of the day, there's 4 legs on the chair, there's 4 legs on the table, there's 4 corners on a house. Okay? Identify who is in your 4 corners. And after you identify that, let these people know. Let them know. So that they know that they'll be holding you accountable. Let them know. So the position that they have in your life, let them know so they can call you higher. But family, that's going to wrap us up here on Speaker Success in the Morning. As I shared a little bit earlier before, on the right-hand side of your screen, right by the chat box, you see a $sign. If any part of the episode has blessed you, or any part of our content has blessed you, feel free just to hit that, and feel free to drop some coin, drop a super chat. We love it, we appreciate it, and we thank you for even tuning in and taking this time to spend some time with us here on Speaker Success in the Morning. But also, family, just know that we're here Monday through Friday every single morning, 6 a.m. Central Standard to 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Do you hear me? Okay, but family, remember, please remember, please remember, please remember. Speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other way? Peace and God bless. Are you a new or budding entrepreneur looking to set your business up for success? Profit Mode is here to help you navigate your entrepreneurial journey with expert education and services. From tax planning and bookkeeping to selecting the right business structure, Profit Mode has you covered. They'll even educate you on how to properly set up your business for building credit so you can grow with confidence. Profit Mode's mission is to provide you with the tools and guidance you need to establish a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're just getting started or you're ready to take the next step, we're here to support your goals. Let Profit Mode help you turn that entrepreneurial dream into a reality. With the knowledge and services to back it up, your success starts with the right foundation. Contact Profit Mode today to get started.